Hi. As we sift through the post-election focus, there's all this discussion about the targeting and who figured out what about the blue states, the polling, the consulting, and everything. But one fact just stands out, cries out for people to focus on, and really has not been an object of focus. This election was overwhelmingly won because of Donald Trump's unique message. It wasn't the negatives on Hillary. Those had existed and pre-existed and continued until Election Day, but didn't really defeat her. It was his message that elected him in the primaries and that gripped in 3 weeks before Election Day and produced the huge surge among white high school graduate men that impelled him to victory. And that message is not one that any political consultant helped him design. It was his message. It's sort of a synthesis between Michael Moore on the left and Steve Bannon on the right. Both filmmakers, both irreverent in style, and both really in touch with the pain of the white high school graduate man in middle America. But Donald Trump knew it. How this billionaire was able to understand it and sift it through his own world and be able to come out and articulate it is one of the political miracles of our time. It is absolutely incredible. The hardest thing to do in politics is to be an insider, as they all are, and to think like an outsider. And Donald Trump has mastered that to a point where it's hard to imagine anybody else doing it as skillfully. He understood reflexively in his own life, from his own values, from his own reaction to the news he saw on television, the outrage and the anger and the sense of being bypassed and the sense of the world changing beneath our very feet that the average American feels. And he articulated that, he understood that, and he based his campaign upon it. And ultimately, nothing else mattered. Ultimately, Hillary's campaign was incompetent. It never had a message. It was all based on negatives on Trump. And Trump's campaign was all based on negatives on Hillary. But ultimately, it was Trump's message that prevailed. And it is one of the most extraordinary performances in modern politics that a politician is able to do that. As I think back over history, clearly the message that Obama had was a message that was prepackaged for him and was lying there, of hope and change, and he could just pick it up and dust it off and use it. The Bush message of security in the face of terrorism, that was there. Bill Clinton did do something original in coming up with the new social contract message of we'll give you opportunity, but you have to assume responsibility. That was some original thinking. Bush, really have to go back to Ronald Reagan for somebody who really articulated a novel message in their own mind, from their own background and their own character, and then brought it forth in politics. Isn't it interesting that the two men who've done that are Reagan and Trump? And the thing that they have in common and differ from everybody else is that they had a life before politics, and that they were manifestly successful in careers before they entered public life. And in that previous career, they formulated a worldview that carried them through in public life. A very interesting thought. Thanks a lot for watching.